Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the HyperX Cloud Orbit S versus the Astro A50 wireless. This is a comparison video to talk to you about two premium gaming headsets that are vastly different in terms of the features and setup of them, but are a similar price point and are at the premium end of the market when it comes to gaming devices. And these are both fantastic bits of kit that work with console and PC, and that depends on the setup that you purchase. The Astro A50, for example, comes in two variants, one that works with PC and PS4 and one that works with Xbox and PS4. And the Cloud Orbit S is compatible with multiple devices, and I'll discuss that a bit later on. But this video is going to go into a bit of depth about both these devices that I've also unboxed and reviewed separately, so I'll link to all the relevant videos in the description. And be sure to subscribe and come back for more, because I'm going to do an in-depth review of the Cloud Orbit S as well soon. Now, both these headsets feature premium design aesthetics and a really good quality sound, and I'll talk to you a bit more about the sound near the end of this video. But as you can see, they're both very comfortable looking, both very flexible in terms of the extension on the headband and the bend and tilt of the ear cups. And when it comes to comfort, actually, both of them are very comfortable in different ways. The Astro A50 has these velour style ear cups, very soft, and the covering goes through onto the drivers as well, so you have a very soft, comfortable fit against your head, and it's very gentle. It's one of the most comfortable headsets I've used, and that is brilliant because they're also easily removable, and I'll show you why that's good later on. The HyperX has a very premium metal headband to it that's also extendable, and you'll note very deep ear cups that I'll show off a bit later on as well. And those are a faux leather as well, but they're also very deep, which means they block out a lot of external noise. The HyperX Cloud Orbit S also comes with a multitude of different connection options. You have a detachable microphone, which is very flexible, USB-C to USB-C cable that can be used with Android phones and any other device that supports it, including Nintendo Switch, for example, a USB-C to USB-A connection for your PC or for PlayStation, and a 3.5mm jack for anything that works with that. So you can see already that the HyperX has a lot of connection options, as well as a funky little bag to put it all in. And that means that perhaps the HyperX is a bit more accessible in terms of the different things that you can use it with. However, it is wired, not wireless. There are batteries inside it though for charge, and I'll tell you about that and why it's needed a bit later on. But unfortunately it doesn't offer any connectivity in terms of wireless or Bluetooth connectivity options, which is a real shame, because if it did, it would have been amazing. And it is an amazing headset, but for different reasons. And you can see on the bottom you have a multitude of connection options as well. You've got the different connection options there, as well as easy access to a number of different control settings, and I'll go into a bit more depth on that as I go through the video as well. And it looks and feels fantastic. Now, the Astro A50 also has various connection options. You can see that the headset comes with an optical lead as well as a micro USB connection to connect the control box. That control box has optical in and out, as well as a USB and micro USB connection and a 3.5mm jack on the control box. You'll note on this version, this is the PC and Xbox version, there's also a switch to switch between those two devices. So you can plug them both in at the same time and then just switch between them whatever you're using, depending on what you're planning on using, or using it separately if you don't have a console and you just have PC, or vice versa. And this little control box gives you easy connection options for that. You can also plug your phone in via 3.5mm connection if you have it, but there's no USB-C to USB-C connection here, so that is lacking, which is a shame. This charging station is, however, really handy, because it also acts as a dock, somewhere really cool and easy to place your headset when you're not using it, and you just drop it in with the magnetic connections and pins on the bottom. It then makes sure the headset is always charged, so when you're not in use you can just drop it into the charging dock, charge up the batteries, and get a good bit of juice in there to make sure it's usable next time you come to it. Once it's turned on and plugged in, you can also see charge level at the bottom there. So you see the 3 white dots, that shows you it's charging, 4 white dots is full. You'll note the buttons on the side of the headset. You can switch between turning Dolby Virtual Surround Sound on and off. You can also switch between Astro's tuned audio profiles and see which mode you're using it in. So you can see I'm connected to a PC here and it lets you know that. And you've got Astro's command center where you can tweak the various sound settings and choose the profiles that suit you. Sound wise, the Astro A50 is really good. It does deliver an excellent sound. It is, however, worth noting that the Astro A50 is only capable of reaching 20 kilohertz in terms of frequency response as the maximum, whereas the HyperX Cloud Orbit S can hit 50 kilohertz, so it delivers potentially a better sound experience. Also, while the Astro has a flip to mute microphone that isn't removable, the Cloud Orbit S has this detachable microphone, so that perhaps makes it a bit more interesting if you want to take it out and about with you. You don't always have to have the microphone attached, and you can use it as headphones, which is obviously a bonus. Now a look at the ear cups. Now the Cloud Orbit S has some very, very deep ear cups. I was really impressed with how deep and plush these are. They are memory foam padding underneath the faux leather exterior, which means that it sits very comfortably on your head. That faux leather also ensures quite a lot of external noise is blocked out. It doesn't block out all external noise, but it does block out a good portion of it. It also is very deep and very comfortable, meaning your ears aren't squashed against the drivers or squashed by the ear cups constantly when you're using it. They do get perhaps a bit warmer than the Astro A50's sort of velour style ear cups, but they do block out a lot more noise and they feel like it's clamped to your head a lot more. It's a lot closer fit and a more enveloping fit, and that's perhaps delivers or helps to deliver a better sound when playing, because obviously you've got a more immersive experience and the sounds all in one over your ears rather than any bleed or any external noise getting in the way and ruining it. These are super comfortable, really soft, and a very premium design and look and feel to them too, as you can see, and also a soft material that goes through onto the drivers. So if you do have larger ears and you do find that they are pressing against the drivers, which I haven't found at all, then you won't have a problem there either, because it's also very soft. It's worth noting, as I'll show off a bit later on, that these are 100mm drivers as well, so they're very large drivers and they deliver a very rich sound experience, whereas the Astro A50 only has 40mm drivers. So on paper, the Astro A50 seems like it won't deliver as good a sound experience. However, I do believe it does deliver an excellent sound experience. Very rich, very good quality, and considering it's wireless, you're always going to get a slightly lesser high-end experience in terms of audio than you will with a wired headset. Now, with the Astro A50 you can purchase an aftermarket, well, it's made by Astro, but an after purchase, additional extra purchase of the mod kit. Now this is essentially faux leather ear cups and a headband that you can swap out with the standard ones that then offer extra noise cancellation. I've done a separate video on these if you want to see that. Be sure to check out the links in the description. However, it is really easy to install. You can see the ear cups are held on with magnets on the back of them, and they just pop off, so it's really easy to pop them off and to pop the mod kit on. And obviously, because you've then got both sets, you can easily switch back or switch between them depending on what your preference is. For example, in the summer you might find these get a bit warmer. Now the faux leather one's obviously not as comfortable. The material on the standard ear cups is ridiculously comfortable, very, very soft and very easy on the ears and face. And certainly these ear cups are not as deep as the Orbit S, so if you like really deep ear cups and you have a very all-encompassing experience, then the Orbit S is going to be for you. However, both sets of ear cups are very, very comfortable on the Astro A50, and the A50's comfort is one of the main reasons I like it. The comfort and the flexibility of having wireless as well as getting good sound and a premium build quality and a really good design make it a very nice headset. The fact that you can upgrade it with this extra purchase is also a bonus, although it's not as upgradable as the Astro A40, which I've also looked at, and I recommend looking at that if you considered wireless or wired headsets, because that too has quite a few options to it and a very good feature set that make it worth considering. Now, the Orbit S ear cups are also removable, but they take a bit more convincing. You have to pull them at the top and bottom. I was trying to do it from the sides, but if you do it from the top and the bottom, you can actually pull them off and detach the entire thing. You can see it does underneath. You can see the large drivers, and these do an excellent job of delivering really good sound quality, and they are customized with a special software that I'll talk to you about a bit later on. The ear cup removal means obviously you can then switch them out in future. However, you can't take the leather ear cup bits off necessarily. The whole thing has to come away, so I'm not really sure what your options are in terms of aftermarket purchases. Now, the design of the Orbit S is a very premium, perhaps feels a bit more premium than the Astro A50, has a nice metal finish to it in places, a very good twist and turn to it. The top of the headband has a sort of rubberized feel to it, as does the outside of the ear cups, has a very premium design aesthetic to it. The Astro A50, meanwhile, is also a very premium design to it, very flexible ear cups. Again, you can turn those nicely and get it to fit the way you want it to, and it is a lot looser fitting though on the head. Find it not as loose as the Void Elite, which I found flew off if you moved your head too quickly, but certainly a lot lighter on the head and the ears, so you haven't got a constant pressure against it. Obviously the lack of wires means it's slightly more comfortable because you haven't got the nag of wires constantly, which is an added bonus. Generally, both of them are very interesting in terms of the comfort they deliver. Now, on to sound. This is where things get interesting. The Cloud Orbit S has this 3D sound technology in it, which basically means that the audio that you hear changes depending on the way you turn your head. So if you're turning your head to look at something on the screen, if you turn to the right, you'll hear more sound in the left. And if you turn away from your screen, you hear more sound in the direction your ears are facing. And it's meant to help with the virtual surround sound experience. It's a 7.1 virtual surround sound device, but it also works with this clever software to give you more audio from the directions depending on how you're moving your head and where you're looking on the screen. And it's very intelligent in that way, and very clever. Also, with those large drivers and a really reasonable frequency response, it delivers a really rich audio, brilliant basses, fantastic range of audio, whether you're playing games, listening to music, or whatever else. In terms of audio, you will not be disappointed. Also have easy access, both volume wheels for the microphone and the headset itself, and you can turn the 3D audio on and off by pressing that 3D button underneath, as well as switching it to auto and manual, and that's pretty cool too. The power button on the side, you can turn that on, and as I said, you need to get power to it because that 3D audio can be used with a USB-C to your phone connection, for example, as well. Now, the Astro A50 also has buttons on it that include this game voice balance that Astro makes use of, where you can basically press those buttons on the fly and adjust the balance between the voice on Discord, for example, and the game audio. So if your friends are talking too much, you can dial them down, or if you can't quite hear them, you can dial them up, and that you can do that on the fly, which is really nice and easy, and it's a great feature to have. I already said how you can adjust the EQ profile settings and turn Dolby surround sound on and off on the fly too with the buttons on that. So both of them have some easy access buttons and volume wheels to make things really easy to get hold of on the headset without having to faff around with software or anything else. You can, of course, download software for both of them and tweak settings. There are sound profiles for both, EQ settings for both, and you can adjust various things. With the HyperX, you can dive in and look at the 3D audio and change the way that works, and that's really cool, and seeing that in action is also really nice. One thing of note is there's a mic mute button on the ear cup of the HyperX Cloud Orbit S, where the Astro A50 has a flip to mute microphone instead, so that's a slightly different setup. So you can see basically both of these headsets are quite different in terms of what they deliver. If you want a premium, high-end wired experience with really deep ear cups, then the Cloud Orbit S is probably the better choice. If you want something that's wireless, convenient, has loads of battery life, delivers a reasonably good audio experience, has Dolby surround sound too, then the Astro A50 is also an excellent one to look at. Be sure to check out my unboxing videos and the other videos in the description to get more information on both these headsets. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting or hilarious. Be sure to subscribe and check out these other videos, as well as taking a look in the description for links and other information you might find useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see extra about this, and have a great life.